Good morning, students. So this video lecture is on parts of speech. As you already know, when we are talking about parts of speech, there are 9 parts of speech that we have to cover. These parts of speech, of course, include nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, determiners, uh, 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 conjunction, and interjection, etc. So because there are too many of them, of course, when I was teaching this in the class, I was able to teach parts of speech in just 2 or 3 classes. But here I will try and be a little more elaborate and take each component separately. So today we are just going to I'm just going to focus on nouns. In the next one, I'll probably focus on adjectives and adverbs, and then on verbs. Okay, so let's just take a look at what nouns are. So what is a part of speech? First of all, this is what I was just trying to explain to you all, that a part of speech is a category to which a word is assigned in accordance with its syntactic functions. In English, the main parts of speech are noun, pronoun, adjective, determiner, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Okay, now I've already discussed what all of these are, but today for this particular video lecture, I'm only going to focus on nouns. Okay, to just give you a rough idea of all the different parts of speech, of course, nouns are names of people, things, etc. Pronouns, on the other hand, are what act as substitutes for nouns. So words like I, you, him, her, he, she, etc. are examples of pronouns. Okay, then adjectives are, of course, describing words. Determiners are things that, of course, tell us about the amount, the quantity, or the of a particular item. This, that are, of course, also determiners. Articles are often used as determiners. Then verb are, of course, action words. I'll be making a separate video lecture on all of these, so don't worry. I'll describe what different types of verbs are in the next video lecture. Just like we had discussed in the class, I'd already talked about transitive and intransitive verbs. Then adverbs are, of course, words that modify a verb or an adjective. Prepositions are, of course, a close class of words that tell us about, that give us information about the time or place of a thing. Examples are, of course, in, on, at, of, etc. Conjunctions are, of course, words that are used to join things together. Examples include and, but, for, etc. And interjection are, of course, words like hurrah, yay, etc. Um, let's just look at the next slide. So what are nouns? And what is a noun? A noun is a word that names something, either a person, place, or thing, as I was just mentioning. In a sentence, nouns can play the role of subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, object complement, appositive, or adjective. Now, all of this might sound a little complicated, but it isn't. This slide will, the slides that follow this one will, of course, make all of these things clear. Examples of nouns are, of course, Ginny, which is the name of a person, Asia, name of a place, shoe is the name of a thing. Now, nouns form a large portion of English vocabulary, and they come in a wide variety of types. Okay. Nouns can also name things, although sometimes they might be intangible things such as concepts, activities, or processes. Some might even be hypothetical or imaginary things. Example, freedom, dignity, honesty, etc. So please remember that nouns basically constitute what in linguistics is called as an open class of words. In contrast to nouns, something like prepositions usually possesses a closed class of words. So there are finite number of prepositions in English language, but nouns, on the other hand, as the language develops, more nouns can be added to the language, just as more adjectives and verbs are also added. So nouns along with verbs and adjectives are actually considered to be an open class of words. This is something that you better remember. Okay, types of nouns. Now, what are the different types of nouns? Now, the main types of nouns that we should know about are proper nouns and common nouns. This I've already discussed in the class once before, but just for revision. So, of course, this is one of the important distinction that can be made between different kinds of nouns. A proper noun is a specific name of a person, place, or thing and is always capitalized. Example, I would like to visit Old Faithful. Old Faithful is a specific name of a geological phenomenon. Now, the opposite of a proper noun is a common noun, sometimes known as a generic noun. A common noun is the generic name of an item in a class or group and is not capitalized unless appearing at the beginning of a sentence or in a title. Example, the girl crossed the river. So, in this example, the girl crossed the river. Both the words that have been bolded, girl as well as river, are examples of common noun. Okay, girl is of course a common noun. If I had to use a proper noun in place of girl, I can probably use someone's name. So instead of saying the girl, I can say Gina. So Gina crossed the river. Okay. Now again, river is also a common noun. I can use a proper noun in its place. I can say, I can give the name of a particular river. Let it be Ganga. So Gina crossed Ganga. This is of course a sentence that makes use of two proper nouns in contrast to the two common nouns that are used in the example being discussed. Okay, so much for proper noun versus common noun. Let's look at the next slide. Now, there are types of common nouns as well. Now, common or generic nouns can be broken down into three subtypes. What are these three subtypes? Concrete nouns, abstract nouns, and collective nouns. Now, what is a concrete noun? A concrete noun is something that is perceived by the senses, something that is physical or real. Example, I heard the doorbell. So here, doorbell is a real thing that can be sensed. Another example that you can think of a concrete noun is of course keyboard or table, chair. These are of course examples of concrete nouns. Conversely, an abstract noun is something that cannot be perceived by the senses. Example, we can't imagine the courage it took to do that. Now here, courage is an abstract noun. Courage can't be seen, heard, or sensed in any other way, but we know it exists. Other examples of abstract nouns would be words like intelligence, honesty, then um, so yes, honesty, loyalty, all these qualities that we might say that a person possesses, they can of course be examples of abstract nouns. Now, what is a collective noun? A collective noun denotes a group or collection of people or things. An example is here, that pack of lies is distasteful. So here, pack of lies is a collective noun. Collective nouns take a singular verb as if they are one entity. Okay. Pack of lies, uh, a swarm of bees, a group of students. So group is of course a noun, but it's a collective noun. A group of students will be a collective noun. Then class is of course an example of a collective noun. It obviously a class comprises of a lot of students. So these are of course examples of collective nouns. Now, how do we use nouns as subjects? Every sentence must have a subject, and that subject will always be a noun. Okay? The subject of a sentence is the person, place, or thing that is doing or being the verb in that sentence. Example, Maria is happy. Maria is the subject of the sentence, and the corresponding verb is a form of to be. Okay, so Maria is happy. In this, Maria is of course the noun, proper noun. Then is of course a verb, and happy is the adjective. Now, nouns can also be used as objects of a verb in a sentence. An object can be either a direct object, a noun that receives the action performed by the subject, or an indirect object, a noun that is the recipient of a direct object. Example, give the books to her. Now here, if you will take a good look at it, the verb here is give. Okay, give is the verb. The books. Here, books is a direct object. It is the thing which is being given. So it is a direct object of the verb give, and her is the indirect object, who the books are being given to. Okay. Now this difference between direct and indirect object is also going to prove to be a crucial distinction when we are going to talk about transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, transitive verbs are those which have a direct object. Intransitive verbs are those which do not have a direct object. So this is something that you should remember. But then, of course, I will talk about that when we do verbs, as in when I make a video lecture on verbs later. Okay, now nouns are subject and object complements. Another type of noun use is called a subject complement. In this example, the noun teacher is used as a subject complement. Look at the example here. Mary is a teacher. So we are of course, Mary is a noun, which is a proper noun. Teacher is also a noun, but then it's a common noun. Now here, in this example, Mary is a teacher. The noun teacher is a subject complement. Okay, it is complementing the subject Mary. Subject complements are normally complements normally follow linking verbs like to be, become, or see. Okay, a teacher is what Mary is. Okay. Other examples that I can think of a subject complement, of course, will be she is a mother. But then she here is, of course, a pronoun, is a mother. Mother is of course being used as a subject complement. A related usage of nouns is called an object complement. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Husband and wife are nouns used as object complements in this sentence. Verbs that denote making, naming, or creating are often followed by object complements. Now, this of course is not very important, but I thought that you should know about all of this, how nouns function as subject and object complements. Apositive nouns and nouns as modifiers. An apositive noun is a noun which immediately follows another noun in order to further define or identify it. For example, look at the sentence, my brother Michael is 6 years old. So here, Michael is an apositive noun. Further identify the subject of the sentence, which is my brother. Now, sometimes nouns can be used adjectively as well. Example, he is a speed demon. Now, speed is normally used as a noun, but here it is acting as an adjective to modify the word demon. Okay. Now, there are also other types of nouns that you should know about. So there is a difference between singular and plural nouns. I'm sure you people know this is a very basic difference. So cat is an example of a singular noun. When we add an s, it becomes a plural, which is cats. Tax is a singular noun. Taxes is a plural noun. Then book is a singular noun. Books is a plural noun. So I'm sure this you can manage on your own. Okay, countable versus uncountable nouns are also there. Now, cats are of course an example of a countable noun. Intelligence, honesty, on the other hand, are uncountable nouns. Okay, so most abstract nouns are actually uncountable nouns. Okay, this is all I have for today. I'll of course give you an exercise. No, there are also possessive nouns that we should discuss. So there's one more slide. So what are possessive nouns? Possessive nouns are nouns which possess something. That is, they have something. You can identify a possessive noun by the apostrophe. Most nouns show the possessive with an apostrophe and an S. So an example is, of course, here the cat's toy was missing. Okay. Or another example of possessive nouns could be Mr. Micawber's uh, books were stolen. So this is, of course, an example of a possessive noun as well. Okay. This is all I have for today. I hope you've managed to understand something. I'll give you an exercise on this. Please complete it. Send it to me. In case of any problems, to get back to me. I'll clarify things. I think in the next video lecture, I will cover pronouns and verbs together. I might just make a video lecture uh, revising pronouns and adjectives together. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much, and please keep studying.